Okay, so today we're going to do something different in class. I'd like to give you your lesson recorded. This slide deck you can find in your notebook, obviously, otherwise you wouldn't actually have this video at the moment. I've included our addition strategies and subtraction, just a little bit of subtraction strategies. And I also have included some vocabulary. So I know some of you have been struggling and wondering, what are these words that I'm reading? What are units? These are units. So there is a unit of system of measurement based on tens called the metric system, which you may have heard of before. And they have three different categories of words. One is for weight, which one is for length, and one is for liquid measurements. So in the metric system, a gram measures a small amount, like a paperclip. A kilogram is 1,000 times bigger than a gram. So you would measure something heavy, like yourselves, with kilograms. In liquid measurement, oops, I skipped length. Here's length. You've probably heard of a meter. A meter measures length. It's about the same length as 3 feet or a yard. In 1 meter, there are 100 centimeters and 1,000 millimeters. So a meter is really good for measuring things like you. Or a room, the size of a room. A millimeter is a lot tinier, so you would measure a paperclip or something very small with a millimeter. Okay, we'll just go to liquid. Liquid measurements. I'm sure you've heard of a liter of soda or a liter of water. A liter is a measurement of liquid. And a millimeter is 1,000 times smaller, 1,000th of a liter. So a milliliter is really tiny. So any time you see the prefix milli, that means 1,000, and it's tiny. So I only gave you these. There are more words that are associated with the metric system, but these are the words that you're going to need to know today for the problems that we are working on. So today we're going to solve some problems showing your thinking and using words and numbers and sketches. This is on page, it's on page 124. So we're working on pages 124, 125, and 126. I'm going to do some of these with you. So first of all, we need to read the problem. There are 5 lizards sitting on one side of a pan balance scale. That's the kind of scale that you used the other day, the virtual one, where you put weight on one side to figure out how much mass something has. Together, the lizards have a mass of 234 grams. So 5 lizards have a mass of 234 grams. I'm going to underline that here and here. One lizard with a mass of 25 grams got off, and a different lizard got on, had 43 grams. Now, how much mass do the 5 lizards on the balance have? Well, first of all, you have to figure out what the problem is, right? So this problem has 2 problems. The first problem is, what happened when the 25-gram lizard got off the scale? So first you're going to do 234 minus 25 grams. Then you're going to take that answer and add 43 grams. That's one way of doing it. So I guess I will do it this way. I'm going to split up my place value, and I know I cannot take 5 ones away from 4 ones, but I could take 5 ones away from 14 ones. So I'm going to steal from the tens column. And I'm going to give 10 over to the ones column. So now I have 14 instead of 4. 14 minus 5 is 9. And I only have 2 tens, and I have to take away 2 tens. That's easy. And I have 2 take away 0. So once that 25-pound lizard got off, we were left with 209. But now we have to add that big 43-gram lizard back onto the scale. So now you just have to do the addition. So remember, you're always adding from the ones column over to the hundreds column. You could do the break apart strategy if you wanted to, but I think this one lends itself pretty easily to doing the standard algorithm. 9 plus 3 is 12. I'm going to give the 2 is in the ones column, but I have 10 more. 9 plus 3 is 12. So I have to put that extra 10 in the tens column. 1 plus 0 plus 4 is 5. And then 2 plus 0. So we ended up with 252 grams. Grams is a measure of mass. All right, so let's go on to the next slide that's still on your page 124. There are 4 puppies, and each puppy has a mass of about 3 kilograms. The mother has a mass that is 5 times as much as one of her puppies. How much mass do all 5 dogs, the puppies and their mother, have together? Wow. So you really have to think about this. First of all, you probably want to know what a kilogram is. So go back up to your vocabulary. It's a measure of weight, and it's equal to 1,000 grams, or about 2.2 pounds. So that's just something to keep in the back of your head. There are 4 puppies, and each puppy has a mass of about 3 kilograms. So we have 1 3-kilogram puppy plus another one plus another one plus another one, or 3 times 4, which equals 12. So they're 12 kilograms. You can abbreviate that by kg. The mother has a mass that is 5 times as much as one of her puppies. So how do you figure that out? What does that mean? Well, if one puppy has a mass of 3 kilograms and she weighs 5 times as much, what they're saying there is that you have a multiplication problem, 3 times 5. And you could, if you did not know 3 times 5, add one more group of 3 to this group of puppies, which equals 15 kilograms. It's all a matter of really thinking about it. So let's read this one. The dog's water dish had 23 milliliters. Is milliliter a lot or a little? Let's go back over to this slide here. A milliliter is 1/1000th of a liter. It's a very small amount. So a dog's water dish had 23 milliliters of water. The owner added water so that there was 4 times that amount. So first of all, we need to figure out, the dog drank 39 milliliters of that water. How much water was left in the dish? All right, so you have a dog dish. It's got this much in it. The owner added a lot more water, 4 times 23. the dog, and then we have to take away what the dog drank. So first of all, I look at this and I think, well, I don't know what 23 times 4 is, but I do know what 25 times 4 is, because I know that when I have 4 quarters in my pocket, which is 25 cents, that equals $1, right? So I'm going to say 25 times 4 equals 100. And then we just have to take away 2 times 4 because I added too much in there. So 2 times 4 is 8. So 100 minus 8. I'm going to give, let's see, we need to do a lot of borrowing. So I can't take 8 away from 0, so I need 10 there. And I can't take anything away from this 0, but I can give this. So now we have 90 plus 10, or 92. So 92. If you didn't know how to do that, what could you do? You could add 23 plus 23. 3 plus 3 is 6, and 2 plus 2 is 4. And then add 46 plus 46. 12. 9. Now we have to subtract 39 from 92. Well, I don't really want to do that. I want to subtract 40. So I'm going to just shift this whole thing over with the constant difference strategy. I'm going to add 1 here, and I'm going to add 1 here. 93 minus 40. 53 milliliters. All right, I've done enough of your math, so I'm going to give it over to you guys. The next one is a time problem, or actually it's a height problem. Abby is 4 times taller than her dog Gabby. Gabby is 51 centimeters tall. How tall is Abby? Again, you have to think about 4 times taller than her dog Gabby. So she's 4 times 51. How tall is Abby when she's wearing shoes that are 6 centimeters tall? You have to add. That does not make sense to me. 4 times taller than her dog. Let's pause for a moment. Okay, sorry. So Abby is 4 times taller than her dog. So her dog is 51. Her dog's name is Gabby. Gabby is 51 centimeters tall. So first you have to figure that out. Then how tall is Abby when she's wearing shoes that are 6 centimeters tall? That's the answer that you're going to put here. So first you figure out how tall she is without shoes on, and then you figure out how tall she is with shoes on. This next problem has to do with time, and I added a link to your Bridges Clock app if you want to use it. The math club started baking at 3:35 and baked for 3 hours and 30 minutes. What time did they finish? You can use these little symbols to figure this out. And the next one is, again, the math club started setting up for the bake sale the next day, 11:45. They were ready to start the bake sale at 1:30. How long did it take them to set up? Start off by moving this here and saying this is where they started, 11:45. And when you add an hour, what do you land on? 1 hour is 11:45 plus 1 hour is 12:45, right? So 12:45. Oops. And then could you add another hour? 12:45 plus 1. What's the next hour after 12? Right, it's 1. So 1:45, but is that too far? What do you need to do to add up to 1:30. Well, you could add a friendly number, which on a clock is 15, right? Because we break it down into 15-minute increments. I'm going to put 15 up here. And I'm going to put 1 hour. And this takes me to 12:45 to 1. And then we just have to get to 1:30. So what do you add? How many more minutes? To get to 1:30. 1 hour plus 15 minutes plus, I don't know. Guess you'll figure it out. Student book page, just one page in your student book after you finish off these that I already pretty much did for you. So if you did watch this video all the way through and you followed along in your student book, you won't have but one problem to do all on your own there. So I'd like for you to work on these 4 problems. This one has to do with a millipede. We know milli means 1,000 now. So Millie, the millipede, is walking in her garden. So this is one that has to do with time. She drank a bunch. This is about milliliters. Whenever you see a ml, that's milliliters. And here again, you have a couple of steps. So what we're working on right now are 2-step problems. They're tricky, but so you have to make sure that you're reading and marking down the things that you notice are important in the problem. Ugh, all right, I think this is a super long video. Sorry, hopefully it's recording. All right, come to office time if you need anything.